Welcome again to Let's Talk Science with Pastor Dan. I'm going to do a three-set video today, tomorrow, and then on Friday, talking about the Jewish tradition of marriage and how that marriage comes about. Now, I might have talked about this before, and if you've seen it before, oh well, the Holy Spirit, I think that it's necessary to talk about it again, so we'll see what God has for us here. I got a little hair sticking up over there. All right, there we go. I remember first hearing about this when I just met my beautiful bride. It was I met her in October of 1994, and I started going to the church in September, and it was a house church, which I had never heard of before. And my mother-in-law was teaching on a book that she had received about the Jewish wedding tradition. And what I'm talking about today is the pre-wedding understanding. And then tomorrow I'll talk about what happens right after that and the wedding feast itself. And then on Friday, the implication I think that we can draw from that as far as Revelation. All right. What was presented to me, as far as I understand what happens, when a young man, and a young man usually means old enough to be able to support his wife, finds a young lady that he wants to marry, the first thing that he does is he goes and talks to the father. The two of them sit down. The proposed groom shares with the father all of his finances, what he has, and a dowry, a cost is presented that needs to be paid for the bride. Now, once that has been worked out, the bride has a say here. The bride is brought in at that point, and a cup of wine is presented to the bride. If she chooses that she will marry him, she takes the cup and she drinks it. When she does that, they are betrothed. Now, this is different than an engagement that we have today. Engagements today, you can break it, no big deal. In a betrothal situation, you actually are married. It would take a legal act to break that betrothal. That's why in all the Gospels it talks about how when Joseph found out that Mary was with child, he was going to break the engagement, but quietly, secretly, because if he did it publicly, that would mean that she'd be presented as an adulterer, and according to law, she would be stoned. And so that is where that takes place. He immediately leaves, and he's gone. After she drinks the wine, after she receives what he is offering, he leaves, and that's going to bring us to our next part of our next video. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this is great. Awesome. Take care.